Alrighty.
Well, hello again.
Hello again.
Hello, hello.
Hopefully no face whacking.
We shall see.
We'll see.
Oh, talking with your hands.
Yeah. Well, that's a weakness of mine. So I'll,
I
I'll
wouldn't say that's a weakness.
well,
Maybe hitting
it
people in the
isn't.
face while you're doing
Yeah,
it is a
exactly.
weakness.
Yeah. Well, generally, it's an encumbrance at best. So I'll leave it at there. Um, but yeah. So your anniversary was last weekend. So that was good, right?
Yeah, it was great. I've been feeling kind of bad that we've missed out on some of our weekend downloads for a bit here, but I think things are back to normal, and I will say that last weekend was just wonderful. So
That's
thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah. A nice escape, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
Um,
So.
we were
Oh.
able to spend a lot of time outside, which I was really grateful for.
Freshly vaccinated, so I'm sure it was
Yeah.
at least relative to last year, much more stress free in general. So
Yes, that's definitely true. The biggest concern I've had is that I don't want to get Blake sick.
mm,
Yeah.
And so the fact that that's off the table now, really, as long as he's not with us when we're traveling, is a huge relief. So
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Because I know, well, Marie got her first shot too, which was awesome.
On Monday.
Mm.
how did you feel?
I almost cried just out of being so happy and grateful that I was able to get it.
Oh,
But otherwise, I was fine. My arm was sore for maybe a day or two. But otherwise, good to go. I'm excited to be halfway there.
hmm
Yeah, I just got a text message that I can get one through the VA now too, which is cool. So
Oh,
hopefully,
nice.
yeah, hopefully we'll both be good to go
Soon.
soonish. Yeah. I don't know.
Mm,
It's been, huh?
Normalish is
Yeah.
on the horizon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's so weird too because I don't know. I kind of am echoing the same thoughts I had. Probably like when I first joined the army, I was like, well, this experience probably won't change me that much. Hopefully. And now I'm just like thinking back through COVID. I'm just like, at the start of it, I was just like, cool. We gotta like hunker down and do this and blah blah blah, and
We'll come
it
on
should
the
be
other side.
easy. It should be it should be easy, right? But now it's just like, oh my god, like there's still like there's so many repercussions, or I don't know, longer lasting effects that I think are like really really settling in for everybody. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Hopefully there's no like third or fourth wave or whatever, but I don't know. I think there's gonna be like a fourth emotional wave if there were concerning this, because while I think like one of the things that not that people are selling, but one of the big selling points this year is like, oh, maybe we can have like summer again, or like maybe we could like reopen by summer, and it's just like,
Probably not.
mm.
Wouldn't count on it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
However, some people will act as though
Yeah, I mean
it is
they are
better.
right now.
Oh yeah, they are already. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like even in Massachusetts, numbers are going back up again, which is
Yep.
concerning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get that you're sick of it, like we all are.
We all are.
Maybe just yeah.
You know what it reminds me of all the time? Both of you will empathize with this. Is at basic training, whenever someone would do something stupid, and we'd
everyone
all
has to
get
push.
Mm-hmm.
yes, we'd all get punished. And I'm like, can you all stop? Like, whoever,
Yeah,
like,
can we just behave for like
yes,
until we're done?
yes, like it'll go so much more smoothly if we can just not do that.
Yep. As few tantrums as possible.
But like, we just can't. I don't know. Hard. I know it's a lot of people to deal with as far as a country, not a platoon. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's an entire society, which makes it a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
but
So
I don't know. I mean, I think Biden just pushed, or is pushing his like infrastructure plan now, which actually looks pretty cool. After he got the COVID stuff pushed, which was nice. Although I don't know if they're gonna be able to push the infrastructure stuff through the same way they did the COVID stuff through, but I was kind of looking at that like in general. It does look interesting. Definitely a bunch of stuff that we need. Just like in general that's been neglected for a while, but
do you have any details on that? I honestly, the last 2 weeks have been so crazy for me at work, and I traveled both weekend days that I feel like really behind on what's going on in the U.S. right now.
I kind of do, but it's not complete. I probably feel
Hmm.
more comfortable talking about it once I actually understood it more
Mhm.
because it just came out kind of like as a
Okay.
proposal, And I don't really know anything about this. All I know is that there's like a general plan, like they're putting like 90 billion towards like this or whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of know those kind of details a little bit, but still, I'm still like, I think the total is like 2.9 trillion dollars or some crazy number. So I'm still trying to like wrap my head around like the sheer numbers of these things, like I don't know. When did we start talking about like national budget things in the trillions of dollars? Like
I can't even.
the first time I
fathom
heard
that.
like $1 trillion figure was in reference to like the national debt, you know.
Hmm.
That was the first time I ever heard like $1 trillion figure, ever thrown at me money wise.
And that those numbers don't mean anything to me. Like I can't picture $1 trillion. I can't picture $1 billion still.
But the restlessness though is definitely getting to people. I mean, it's funny. You can literally hear the uptick of like restlessness in this city because people start going out more at night and like literally walk past the house just like ooh, just like all loud and stuff.
On like a Monday.
Yeah,
It's
or
like, sure, I guess you can
or whatever
like
day.
Monday fun day, but it's like, yeah, it's constant. It's not like
Hmm. But the thing that kind of not bothers me, but I know is going to be the case is that like the same people who weren't taking this stuff seriously like last year are going to be the same people who are like not taking it seriously this year, who probably ended up got vaccinated anyway. You know what I mean? So it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's just a frustrating situation for sure. Um, so a minute ago you said you can literally hear the restlessness and like things kind of getting back to normal, and it made me think about how there are like more things happening in America right now than happened. I don't know. Even over the last year, there was a lot of stuff like the protests and the Capitol riot and all that. But I feel like again now you can just see based on the events that are happening in the U.S. like people are not hunkering down anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That also reminded me too that the trial's going on too.
George Floyd trial.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I need to be at like literally tonight. I'm gonna spend a lot more time digging into that. And
I think today was.
there's another one going on though too,
Which
or
one?
maybe not. I should know this. I feel very like upset with myself right now because
There is a lot going on, like you just said. It's hard to keep up.
yeah. Well, it's not even that. It's just that being in Japan, I find things out kind of after they happen in the
Yeah.
US. And so then like the news resources that are available to me have already passed. It's hard for me to keep track of like what is happening this second as opposed to what already did happen, or if I read something that was like, oh, this is happening in the future, it might actually be happening now, and I just received that. So I don't know, but I need to be a little more on it because there's definitely another I'm gonna see if I can look, because there's another name. There was another tragedy where like there was someone was, I think, killed by the police as well. But I don't know enough about it, but I think I know who would have posted. So let me see if I can figure that out.
Well, there was another thing that happened, I think, in the Capitol where someone rammed their car into a barricade and killed 2 police officers and wounded another one. That just happened like yesterday, I think.
I knew nothing about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. They're still trying to find like motive and stuff, of course. Just like they're still trying to find motive behind the spa shootings in Georgia, and then that was in Georgia, right?
Yeah.
The spa
Atlanta.
shootings. Yeah, and then the other shooting too. There was another shooting.
Grocery store in Boulder.
Oh yeah, in
Colorado.
Boulder, Colorado. Yep. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's like 1 year of COVID fatigue plus living in this hellhole that I love that really sucks right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just like
I don't
this.
know.
It's just like this squeeze, almost.
Yeah. I don't know at this point exactly what it would take for us all to move in a more positive direction, like as a
Yeah.
country.
Right.
I have no idea.
I mean, there's no easy answer regardless, just because that's such a big question, but I don't know. I feel like there's got to be something that will start to push things in a better direction. Maybe when some of COVID gets actually a little better, like maybe that'll help, just because people will be able to pursue other things than being in their own heads all day. And
Right. Yeah, exactly. Or just be like, not outwardly focused, but more. I don't know. It's funny because I do feel like people kind of like got jarred out of their. Well, yeah. I mean, everyone kind of got jarred out of their regular daily, whatever routines, and kind of more like outwardly focused, or I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but yeah. I mean, it's funny because like a positive direction forward, that's like the crux of the thing is we don't even agree what that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a positive way forward is literally, it almost seems like diametric to each other, So
because we all have different definitions of that.
mm-hmm.
That's like one. This is a conversation I've had with other people, but I don't think I've had it with you. The golden rule that you're taught in elementary school, treat others as you would like to be treated. When I started to think more about equity, and I honestly can't remember if someone said this to me or if it just at some point made more sense to me to think of it as treat others as they would like to be treated instead of as you would like to be treated. Because, and that the problem is, the reason things are so challenging is because we don't all have a shared how we would want to be treated. It's
Right.
not shared.
Exactly. Well, I think it's just hard to extrapolate what that means, like over and over and over again. I think it's hard to extrapolate that concept from the individual to like the group, to the community, to the state, to the country. I think it's hard to extrapolate that. So, that's why it feels so tumultuous right now in general, because I don't know, we had a leader that was not like directly attacking our ideals, but was definitely like putting them to the test. He was definitely like stretching them out and like seeing how far he could go with it.
Do either of you feel like things are better now at all?
It almost just seems like it's like another Band-Aid.
Yeah.
It's like we just literally almost just like replaced like the international mask we had.
Yeah. It's like someone put a finger in the dam so we can remove the bucket that's like collecting all the drips, but the dam's still like gonna break.
Yeah.
So I'm not really like worried about what Biden is saying. I don't think I've read anything from him since the inauguration or like heard him speak at anything. I know that his dogs got kicked out of the White House, and that's like the kind of news that I want to hear about the president.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hear every day what big of an asshole you are on Twitter. Like, I don't want to hear every day something that you're like endangering more people that I love.
Exactly. And the whole process, the whole relationship between like the White House and like the media and like the people has been disturbed so much. And just like fucked with so much, and just like so much bad faith is there right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it was a meme, I think, on the GOP's Twitter page for a while. They were just like, "Oh, why haven't you done any press conferences yet?" You know, like shit like that, where it's just like, come on, like, like really, you know.
You know what's really interesting about how disrupted news and media has become as a result of the last several years is that I don't know a ton about journalism, but I feel like they have sort of like their own like code of ethics a little bit. Like, we should talk to someone who like studied journalism, because there is like this dedication to revealing the truth, and there's obligation and honor in some of what they're doing. It's kind of like with musicians, you know, like we are very passionate about what we're doing. They are as well, and they have like, I don't know, some values, I guess, that guide it. And so I don't necessarily implicitly distrust like people who are reporters or journalists or anything. Maybe the outlet that they are representing. But
exactly. But do you trust it? Do you trust it under capitalism? You know, that's the real question.
Yeah,
like, do you trust it under for profit? Do you trust anything under for profit? I mean, not all the way, not for me all the way, because end of the day, it's about making money. So they're going to naturally be drifting towards anything that can make money. So where that's like, you know, in your eyes, 92% truth and then like 8%, you know, fear mongering or whatever the fuck, just to get that extra engagement. That is what it is, you know, or fact bending or whatever, you know, reframing, whatever happens to be. So I don't know. That's my only thing, where it's just like, okay, well.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah. Always a bit of red pill with that, I guess. Which is why I was mentioning this to Maria the other day, where I was just like, you know, that's why I kind of like struggle almost with too many news sources, because I feel like I have to like follow news sources on like across the entire spectrum to even get an idea of like what's really going on, you know, and then even from that you have to like distill it further, you know, and then put it in like your own context. So
yeah. Well, honestly, what I've found is I really try to only look for transcripts and videos, because like the second person source, where it's not a third person narrative, it's just that source that is just like documenting what happened. And so that's, I don't know, that's usually my first strategy. If that doesn't exist, if I can't find that, then I'll do some more research, and whatever news source I go to, I'll check and see if it cites its sources. If it doesn't, period, then I just ignore it, because you can't verify that.
right.
So And then also, if someone doesn't post their sources, it's like, to me, that means that they want to hide something, or they were too lazy and unprofessional, and like to correctly document this. So that's kind of how I start. But yeah, I think going across the spectrum is good, but those are kind of the first steps for me before I go digging in further.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like you can't find that stuff either because, you know,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I mean, you can't find all information, unfortunately. Well, kind of unfortunately. You can't find all information across the internet, you know. So,
Yeah.
because it's like, and also in my opinion too, it's all, like it depends on the medium as well. You said you go for transcripts and video sources. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Like transcripts of like what the video is about, or
No. So like, for example, if like this happened where the the immigration ban, the Muslim ban,
Mhm.
I was like, okay, it is possible that I am just getting news sources that are saying that this is like really hateful, and the details are not clear because it's like just the source I'm using is saying this is hateful. And I agreed that probably it was going to be. But instead, what I looked at after that was I found the transcripts of the hearing in which they were describing the details of the actual bill that was passed or whatever, executive
Yeah.
order. And so I went and I found the like executive order and the discussion on it, as opposed to just reading a news source that was interpreting that document for me.
gotcha. Okay.
So, and that happened. I mean, that stuff it can be difficult to find, but especially if it's like bills and executive orders and that sort of thing, like that exists somewhere.
Right. Yeah, it has to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I think when I did that too, I realized that it didn't say the word Muslim, I don't think, in that document, actually. And so, although I definitely still thought it was wrong and racist and like it was definitely wrong, it was awful, but I could see as a result how other people who don't share the same values as me would be like, oh, this isn't a racist bill. This is just, they would, like, I could just understand how they would justify it away because it didn't actually say that word in there.
Right. It's not like what they would consider to be, because explicit racism is what a lot of people consider to be just racism, period.
Yeah.
You know, that's where their understanding of it like begins and ends.
Yeah. And I do actually think, what it said, I can't remember now because now this has been a little bit, but I think it said something, the problem with it was that it said non-Christian religions, I think is what it said, was like, if you were Christian, it was okay to come. And I was like, wait, what? What? And then because of the countries that were listed in the document as well, it was like, well, obviously they're saying that it's like a Muslim ban. But overall, I was still like, it doesn't even matter exactly like who they're targeting in it. They're saying you have to be Christian to come here.
Exactly.
Like what? Like any religion, any other religion.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't freedom of religion one of the things that we kind of do over here?
Yes, that's why I was like, holy crap!
Freedom of your Christian religion.
Well, it's not. It's just like it's just the same exact. It's the same arguments that Republicans use to this day for their kind of crackdown on like immigration policies, which is, oh, we can't have looser immigration policies because these immigrants aren't the immigrants that we want, because they're not going to come into the country and vote for us. They're going to come into the country and vote for the Democrats. You know, that's literally one of their talking points. They're just like, no, we can't do this. We have to stop because the only reason why Democrats want open borders is because they're going to come in and vote for Democrats. I'm just like, huh. Well,
so we can't make these territory states and...
Yeah. I'm just like, well, one, no. It's just, that's just not a thing. It can't be a thing because it takes at least 7 years for. Anyway, that's a whole. Oh. It gives me brain cancer thinking about it. Anyway, crap. What were we talking about right before that?
We were just talking about like how you find news and sources and trusting media and stuff.
Huh.
But I'm gonna actually change the subject kind of just because I have like maybe 30 more minutes, and before we started talking on the stream today, you had told me about a thing that I don't know what it is because I've been under a rock, aka not under a rock. I've just been in Japan.
You've been living on an island. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yep.
Well, some of us have been
Yep.
there.
So
Are you talking about the video that I mentioned?
yes.
The Lil Nas
So I really
X video?
I don't. Yeah.
So Lil Nas X, you may know him from Old Town Road. Do you know that song?
I think so, yeah.
I think that's his, unless I just made that up.
Nope. You're right.
Okay. But he just came out with a new song. So he came out as gay like 2 years ago, I think. And he's always active on Twitter, like responding to haters and stuff. But he has like a lot of people that hate him for being gay. Which we're in America, so I guess it comes with the territory.
Yeah, a lot of people would hate him for being gay and also being gay and black.
Yeah.
And also being gay and black and really open about it.
Really open about it. So he released this video. Do you want to pull it up, maybe?
Oh, the music video?
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
So it's called Montero, Call Me By Your Name. And it's
Shopping with-
It's basically like Lil Nas X in the Garden of Eden, and then he kisses the serpent and is sent to hell, and he goes to hell on like the world's longest stripper pole and then like twerks on the devil. It's beautiful. It's very well done. It's got a
It's
great
art.
little beat. It's nice. Yeah, all around very good. But people are very upset with the youths.
Well,
as
it's the
they
same.
are
It's
with
the
their sex,
same.
drugs,
It's
and
the
rock and roll.
same. It's the same conservative outrage that there always is.
Yeah.
The same conservative outrage about WAP that there is about this song. I'm just
Yeah.
like, ugh. It's like the same narrative.
Yeah. It's like, do you want to go to hell because you enjoy this video?
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
It's almost like the culture wars at this point are almost so predictable in America. It's almost like I'm getting like sick of seeing it. I'm just like, it's all a trope.
Yeah.
These are all just like tropes, you know.
That is a really interesting point.
Yeah.
That is
And like
so true.
and the reason why this blew up is because Caitlyn Bennett and him got into like a shit posting fest over Twitter about it. You know? So I'm just like of course.
Let's pull that up.
Yeah.
So,
So people are outraged that it's like
yep. So it's like
median.
it's like a moral.
Yeah, moral outrage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, do you think I don't, like I said, I haven't watched it. I'll have to watch it. I'm excited too. But if like a straight white man had done it, like there would be similar outrage. Like it's just kind of one of those things that there's just like that sexual conservatism in
Well,
our
I
country.
think it's the fact
or-
that a straight white man would never make that because it's very feminine, very like sexual, and that's not okay unless it's taken by white men.
I don't know. I don't know. At least like there is this sense I get like from the black community in general that's just like, and it does come from like a weird sense of learned self-loathing where it's just like, oh, okay, like one of the societal marks against me is that I'm black already, you know? So anything else that like others you on top of that is like considered like a bad check mark, you know? So I do think that, you know, again, like him being black and out about being gay and all these things.
And proud of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I do think that that adds to the outrage, or at least it makes the target on his back bigger.
Yeah.
You know, like it makes him an easy, you know, like pincushion for all these stupid fucking.
Which I think he knows, and like, well, I mean, he obviously knows, but I think he kind of takes that on.
Yeah, I mean,
as like
he's definitely Tupac in it for sure.
Yeah,
where he's
as a
just
celebrity,
like,
he's like, okay, like send this all my way, because I don't know, maybe he's thinking you'll send less hate to lesser known people
yeah,
that maybe don't have the same support system that he has, or maybe.
Well, and everyone has to be like, every group kind of needs not a trailblazer in terms of like invention, but like someone who will weather that storm
Yeah.
first, because it's easier then for everyone else after them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really interesting. You know, what do you think about this? I remember this. This just, you made me think of it, Mairead, because of something you said. I remember once at some conference. I think it was a bi conference. I think it was probably the one I went to in North Dakota with Robin Oakes, who I love. Where she said, I think it was her, that America doesn't really have as much of a problem with sexual orientation. They have a problem with like gender roles and femininity versus masculinity. Because if he would have gone out there and been like wearing what, like a lumberjack, like,
Yeah.
you know, flannel.
If like the devil was a woman and he was like spanking the devil, they'd be like, ha ha ha, wow.
Yeah. What do you think about that? That really,
That's-
it's not so much sexual orientation, but it's like this kind of, it's like almost more just like toxic masculinity, gender roles,
Yeah,
like
totally.
that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely involved, because he's like, he openly calls himself like flamboyant, and he was like wearing like thigh-high boots in the video, like just, it's very feminine and very like beauty driven, and that's definitely the cause of some of the outrage, because everyone loves femininity except when it's like uncaged. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you can't be confident on your own. You have to know that I called you beautiful, and now that makes you beautiful. You know, it's like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy to me because for a long time, I think the reason that it's something that sticks in my head so much is for a long time, in my mind, I would sometimes be able to like make concessions for people who were not okay with my orientation or other people's orientations, as long as they weren't jerks about it. But if they still felt it was wrong, because I was like, if that's their religion, who am I to like, I'm not a person that's trying to tell someone what their religion is right or wrong at any point. I can tell them how I feel and everything like that. But over time, I realized people really, even people who have a religious belief that, you know, homosexuality or bisexuality or whatever sexuality is wrong, they won't say anything about it until there's like a girl with a shaved head or a guy wearing a skirt. Like, it's not a threat to them until someone embraces it or is like,
Yeah.
I don't know, visually upsetting to them. I don't know.
No, I agree. No, it is like the kind of first reaction, visual upset that most people will react to. You know, that's why, you know, I think this year it just highlights again, like where is the diversity in your friend group? You know, where is it? Where is it at? You know, and if it's not that diverse, then maybe there should be some slight rethinking, you know, on your part, if that's something that you care about, you know. But
Yeah.
if you come from a conservative like community, that's not something you care about, you know.
I don't know if you saw in the chat, but Kyoko, what hot takes did you think you missed out on there?
Glad you joined.
Mm-hmm.
Joined the vid.
Mm-hmm.
She and I had a good talk yesterday.
Oh yeah, you gonna share it to class?
No.
Fine.
Alright.
Keep
Moving
your
on.
secrets then.
No, I just I what I'll say is oh for yeah, the religious people. I also, by the way, I try to qualify most of the time that I don't mean every religious person or
Yeah.
every I try
It's
to
not
say many
every
or
man. Every.
yeah, no.
I.
But yeah, I obviously like since religion is the it's kind of like the biggest identifier of people who are not okay with like the LGBTQ community. That's
Yeah.
that's all.
It
But yeah,
genuinely,
so
I would say that that's probably broken down into like, I don't know, like like Judo Christianity in general, like any of the kind of like Christianic religions, probably, and like in this country is probably like evangelical Christians. 'Cause that's like a quarter.
yeah,
That's like a quarter of the population. You know, like
I mean like
Yeah.
almost any organized religion has something bad to say about gay people. Like almost any. It's not, like there are lots of countries and religions and places that are still like, no, you're gonna not just go to hell, but you're gonna be like executed for this.
do you
So
think it's a problem separating, like like making religion like an identifier instead of like it just being wrapped up into just like a culture or something?
Hmm.
Because it kind of like puts it in like a protected class, you know, like religion, like haha, you know.
no, it does make it tricky but actually, like Kyoko just said, the right to religion ends at my right to be free and healthy. Like that's always the line for me is I will not do anything to infringe upon somebody else's rights, and if my religion or my beliefs does that, then I can't act on those things.
Mm.
It's the difference between belief and behavior, or thoughts and behavior. Um, and so I don't know. I think it would be it would be kind of irresponsible not to identify religion as a proponent of like anti-LGBT things because it is often.
Right.
So
No, I get what you're saying. I'm just like, I don't know. Because I feel like if it can be, I feel like if religion can always constantly be like isolated from like normal conversation, or like it's in this kind of like protected realm where it can kind of where it like kind of influences politics and like kind of influences culture and like kind of all these things, but there can never be any pushback against it at the same time. I don't know. I just think it's weird because like it does become like a cultural issue at some point where it's just like, look, there's like, you know what I mean? And it is affecting culture, you know, and it is affecting change, but we can't push back against it. Like, I don't understand, you know?
I would argue though that a lot of people with religious beliefs feel that it has been pushed against quite a bit.
Mm.
We don't feel it because we have pretty strong beliefs the opposite direction, and we feel like there needs to be more change. But I definitely have had a lot of people, like friends of mine, who have deep religious views, who have felt like, they have been attacked because of having religion.
Huh.
And some of the better friends of mine take that in stride because they understand that it has been difficult to bridge the kind of cognitive dissonance between being Christian based on like or whatever religion based on the rules of that text, and also be like really nice. They've had trouble with that too. So when they have felt attacked, again, the best of my friends take it in stride. But there are lots of people who feel attacked and then they dig in their heels, they get more defensive, they double down on those beliefs or that like kind of anger or upset about it. But I definitely think that like people who have religion have felt attacked and felt pushed against, especially in recent years, and even just like when they federally legalized marriage for same-sex couples. Like that was I guarantee there are lots of people who thought, oh, my religious freedoms are being infringed upon, which is not true, because they don't need to go get married to someone of the same sex. But it's definitely like one of those lines where we have to keep pushing, but we do have to figure out where it is. Yeah.
It almost seems like the same kind of confusion that people experience when you're trying to describe true equality. You know what I'm saying? People are just like,
Well, they
oh,
picture
this
it as a
can't.
pie.
Yeah, people
It's
are just
always
like, oh,
pictured as a
this
finite
can't.
amount.
Yeah, like this can't be equality because this is taking away from my group somehow, or this is
Right.
taking away from or infringing upon like my rights. Like allowing this group to have this right isn't somehow infringing upon my right to already do that thing. You know, it's just like I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's like it's pretty crazy. But so another thing I noticed in the chat was Nami had said something about like how dare guys wear skirts, and then Kyoko said my religious freedom to persecute people is being infringed upon. And so one thing though that I've been thinking about lately too is yes, religious freedom is something, or like religions can be something that makes someone conservative and makes someone act in conservative ways, or things that wouldn't typically line up with like being gay or on the left or whatever. But I'm wondering also recently how much of some of that hatred just has way more to do with our cultural discomfort with sex and sexuality in general, as opposed to just like religion.
So you're talking about the American prudishness then?
Yeah, which is weird because we're like such a sexual culture with like our advertising and our movies and everything like that. But wow, you can't like it's people are uncomfortable talking about sex.
Mm-hmm.
Like
They really are.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about someone who's gay, like it's not just religious people who are uncomfortable by it. It's like just anyone who's like, I don't want to talk about some people, like people having sex. It's too scary for them.
I mean, we're talking about the same country who has an army who just switched Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Like, how many years ago was that?
15?
Was that only 15 years ago?
Something like that.
No, that was not. It was in 2014 or 15.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure it changed like right as I was getting in. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in, and it was not. It was changed after I got in.
Yeah. So, I
That's
mean,
insane.
yeah.
So Nami just said cultural conditioning against non-gender normative behavior is what drives people to discrimination. Religion is what enables them. Boom.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
religion is the bulwark. Yep.
Yep.
that is super true. That is super true and very upsetting. Because yeah, that's what I was getting at earlier, and I didn't say it very eloquently. Is that I feel like cultural conditioning against non-gender normative behavior is something that people without religion also take part in. Like they also are comfortable with, and they also discriminate and they're really hateful about it. And that's why I'm saying, like, also I think a lot of it does have to do with just our discomfort with sex and sexuality and gender. Like, we just cannot get over this idea that like we have roles. And some of that is historical, so maybe that'll get better, but
That's totally it. Like, the American dream is pretty a-religious. Like, when I picture the American dream, it doesn't heavily involve religion. You can be religious, but the American dream is, like, gender roles.
yeah.
The wife at home.
Oh, yeah. The white
Taking
picket
care of
fence
the
and
house.
like, yeah, I gotcha.
Making sure to cook, you know.
All
the
those, like,
husband
old-
going off to work,
Yep,
the
yep.
white picket fence,
Yep.
yeah.
All those like 1960s advertisements and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because there was like a time period, like that time period, that American dream ideal was like being advertised. And now I'm like, what is being advertised? Is anything anymore really in that regard? Are we trying to like is culture being influenced now, or are we by like new ideals, I guess? Or are we just, because there's no new input, we're just like reverting back over and over to that same imagery?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's super weird.
No,
I don't know.
I agree. It's almost like we're on just like a record loop where there's like this bump in the record. There was this book I read like forever ago. I think it was by like an American philosopher where he was like theorizing. I forget what it was called. I forget his name because it was, I don't know. But he was theorizing that like
Fact
every
check.
20 years, like America is on like a cycle of every 20 years, like generationally, basically. Like every 20 years is like a repeat of itself, which is really simplified, but kind of makes sense on like a semi micro level. You know what I mean? I'm just like, like each generation is trying to push out the next generation, and we're falling into like these same patterns over and over and over and over again. So I'm wondering, because there's also a lot of theory about the end of like, I keep mentioning capitalism because it's been stuck in my head all day. Like the end of
But
capitalism
Kyoto
too.
talking about too.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah.
Like
We're seeing all these things that are like reoccurring problems. Who said it earlier? Like we're like sticking our finger in like the tub.
In the dam.
In the dam to like stop all these things from happening. But these things
The
that
dam's
are
still
happening
broken.
are becoming more and more frequent. You know? Because we keep on slapping band-aids on shit. Like we keep on printing out more money for shit instead of like taxing all the fucking wealth we have in the country already. You know? Like, it's bad. So, I don't know. But it is cyclical. But some of these, like, bigger catastrophes in this cycle are happening with, like, increasing frequency. And that's really, 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 really alarming for anyone kind of paying attention to that in general, you know? But we're all feeling the squeeze of that, too. Which is why I don't get the denial from some people as well.
Well, Kyoko
So.
just said nobody lives long enough to see the patterns. The people who study it aren't heeded, and the pattern repeats itself.
Yeah, that's true.
because we have somehow, maybe because of the money, we've gotten to this place where we don't trust experts. We don't, or we don't value experts'
Right.
opinions. And like, I don't know. I just think about even when I went to school, how much more I learned about kids because I went to school for teaching, and
Yeah.
how much better, like how much more knowledge I have about their development because I studied it. And I'm like, okay, literally every subject, every person who goes to like school and learns more about it knows more about it than I do of anything, like
Right.
any subject. So why would I just assume that I know when there are people who have masters and doctorates and many years of experience, if not formal education? And they've, you know, because formal education is great and everything, but it is also not the be all end all. But like there are people, I just don't like, why wouldn't we trust them? There's that mistrust has been really a problem.
Yeah, that's true. And the mistrust is also getting worse, and it's like cropping up in areas that like are really shitty to deal with, you know. Again, like just like with information pipelines in this country in general, you know. I feel like that's so fragmented now, you know. Like I said, I think before probably we started the stream too, I feel like I have to have like all of my fingers in like all the different pies, like the right pie, the left pie, you know, a couple fingers in the centrist pie, just to figure out what the fuck is actually going on. You know, all the meantime, all the pies are trying to sell me on their delicious tastes, you know? So I'm just like, it's infuriating. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay, friend. I do need to get rolling. I had to. I did have to laugh at experts.
Nami, it sounds like Nami. Your name sounds like a.
Don't worry, we
sounds
use
like a pie.
sanitizer.
Yeah, we
We
use
sanitized,
sanitizer,
and then we jammed our fingers in your pie.
And now the pie tastes weird.
Yummy.
Delicious.
But okay, friends, I need to get going. So, but next week we will for sure meet, and I'll do my research and homework over the next week about just like anything that's going on in the U.S. So
We will do our homework and
Yes.
upload the episode starting hopefully
Yeah.
probably tomorrow. Who knows? I'm the one without the
I'm really-
executive function, so it's really up to her.
I feel really optimistic about April. Like I have a lot of plans for the website and for our content and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be great.
It'll be good. Springtime.
Yeah.
Everyone loves
Yeah.
springtime. Hopefully.
Yay. I'm gonna go
Great.
catatonic for the next 3 days since Jared said he has no executive functioning and it's my job to do it. So
She's being rude now. All right, Jenny.
If you send them to me, I can upload them. So don't worry about it.
Ay,
Okay. Well, bye everyone.
ay. Bye bye. And also, what?
oh,
Why are you
And
making
also
faces
what?
for? I also just want to say thanks to chat for hanging out and stuff, because we're leaving.
yeah, I guess.
You guess.
No, thanks. You sounded like you were continuing the conversation, and Jenny
I
seemed like she knew she could leave. It was. Anyway.
I don't think my timing was up.
subscribe.
Like, subscribe, comment. No. That was not my fault though. You were the one who started making faces first. You started making faces first.
Anyway, good night. Turn it
Okay.
off.
Good night, chat.
He waved to the chat.
Of course I waved to the chat. Who else would I wave to?